Hey everybody, Susan Vernicek here, creator of Identity Magazine and your Mindset and Achieve coach. I've been in business for over 14 years and Identity Magazine is my baby. It's the first place, the first outlet that I had on my healing journey. And I am so grateful that it is still up and running to this day. As you all know, digital and social media and marketing has evolved in so many ways. And I'm extra honored and excited to have my first guest for Identity Live in a while. And her name is Sonia Bari. And we met through a women's organization called Big, Believe, Inspire, Grow. And we're both members. She's from New Jersey and I live in Pennsylvania. And I wanted to have her on here because we had such a fabulous connection and conversation about relationships. And she is going to tell you about herself, but she is a relationship therapist, expert. And today we're talking about how to save your relationship, solutions. She's going to share about 2 forces that we should pay attention to prevent. And I'm going to let Sonia here just take it away.
Hi, Susan. Thank you for
Hi.
that wonderful introduction. And yes, I am a relationship specialist. I also specialize on this additional specialties are infidelity and divorce. And really, Susan, it's my passion in life to really bring out and make common some of the very imperative misunderstandings and mistakes that we have about relationships that make well-meaning, conscientious people um, go into mistakes and spirals of downward motion in their relationships, ending in divorce, separation, or not that, just heartbreak,
Mhm.
just a loss of connection and spark.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting in with such beautiful intentions. And to me, since I was a child, I've always felt that the magic in this world is in love. But I also very early on understood that this place of love can also be a place of great pain and suffering.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so it's always been my goal in life to figure out how can you harness the beauty and the power and the magic of love without without all of the meanness and the demoralization and the very, very deep heartbreak in sacred places that this can sometimes come with. And for that reason, I do put out videos on my YouTube channel, complimentary. I do only transformational coaching at this point, even though I have a practice of with therapists who serve the same sort of philosophy. And my latest effort, which I'm most excited about, Susan, is my school that I have started, which is called the School for Transformational Healing,
Oh, I love it.
where couples and individuals can understand all of this. And I want to talk about this very important topic that we have today, which is how to save a relationship.
Yes. And I love this topic. And on a personal level, I almost didn't get married
Mhm.
because I was so moody and up and down. And this was still on my early stages of my journey when I met my husband now. And he didn't know how to manage me. And I said to him, it's like, there's just something wrong with how I'm managing my emotions and in managing my communication. That was the core, was like just that I was
Mm.
holding in so much stuff that I wanted to communicate, but I was scared to communicate because I was scared he was going to leave me. And it was like about to blow up in my face and I had to block that barrier. And so I love this topic because I know there are so many things that we can work on individually and as a couple, but for me, I know that I had so much work to do and I did the work and it paid off, and I'm so happy I did the work because I'm with an amazing man who we love, and we work at it every day.
That's beautiful. And I love that you say we work at it every day because this is what a commitment is about.
Yeah.
It's choosing your partner every day over and over again.
Yeah.
And and one of the reasons this topic is so important, Susan, and this work is so important is because when we save relationships, we save families. And
Yes.
many times you might say, well, not everyone has children, but when a relationship breaks, the splatters go far to friends and families and other starry-eyed couples who are looking to get to start their lives, and it can be extremely painful. And over the years of working with myself, with people in such close, minute frames, I have discovered that there are first of all, I want to say this very broad and shameless statement, which is very much objected on, that if a if a couple really wants to make it work, they can. Now,
Yes.
does divorce and separation have a place? Should every couple be together? No. And yes, divorce is a real thing and it's very important, especially if you've come to a place where you are hurting each other and the people that you love rather than making it work. But if people have a motivation to be together, a union between two people can be a source of the greatest amount of personal evolution that a
Mm,
person can have. Because what I find, Susan, is that my clients are very successful individuals. They are so high functioning. They have discovered and solved matters in the world that are so complicated,
yeah.
and then yet this place around relationship gets them.
So
and that's
interesting.
and that's and that is, and I it's almost like a cosmic trick that you'll be able to figure everything out,
Mhm.
and the one place where you're just going to be pulled and you're going to be like, we're going to grab you, and at that time your heartstrings are so deeply rooted in this that
Yeah.
you find the courage to look
Mm,
into the dark corners that you've been avoiding all along. And so
love
I
that.
do have, some very, very focused points to mention here. So shall
Yes.
I begin, Susan?
Yes. Yes. I know we talked about the forces, how to prevent, some
Yes.
solutions. Let's hear them.
So the two things that I found that I'm now, what I'm imagining is, first let me talk about the kinds of the how I'm going to describe the people who are maybe interested in hearing about how to save a relationship. Where mostly what will happen most commonly is that there is one person who's leaning into the marriage or the relationship, because not all of them are marriages, and one person who's leaning out. Generally, this is what's happening, and sometimes
Mm,
they switch, and we'll talk about that for 1 minute. And then there's one of the basic ways to describe it, leaning in and leaning out. But then there are categories in there where somebody's leaning in, where they want the marriage to work, but they're leaning in with conditions.
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I feel like that's the most common.
That's the most common, yeah. And then there's a person that's leaning out, and that person is leaning out, but still is leaning out in a way that they have some conditions. There's the one that's leaning out that's going to come to therapy, and they're just using therapy to lessen the blow of saying, "Hey, I'm leaving." But I'm talking about the one that does have some conditions, and there is a beautiful protocol that I want everyone to be aware of, which is called discernment counseling. Discernment counseling is a maximum 5 session protocol. Many times on the average, it can be done in 3 sessions. It's not therapy. It's a way to decide whether you want to, between three paths, do you want to leave things as they are, which is always an option. Whether you want to go into a separation or a divorce, or whether you want to go into 6 months of therapy and or coaching to fix that. And this is real important. So many people who get divorced and they find out about this, they always say, "Oh my God, I wish I knew about
Yes.
this,"
I was
because
just
there's
going to say, I think that is brilliant and so focused. And I think it's in alignment with how we show up in our lives and making decisions. right? That's like the key in everything that we do is making a clear decision and then
Beautiful.
following through with that decision. When we don't make decisions, we're in and out, we're in and out, we're in and out. We have all this extra energy and junk up here going on, and it's impacting how we follow through or how we show up every day. So I love that you do that because
Yes.
one is like, let's just come to a decision we both agree on, we want to, we are committed to, and then we take the appropriate actions after that. I love that.
And Susan, being in a relationship yourself, we all know that there are crests and troughs in a relationship, and many times we can ride the crest. Oh, it's so nice when you go on vacation together. Oh, look at this moment when he's bouncing the baby. It's so cute. We make a really good Christmas card together. So these moments sometimes this thing that you're talking about, Susan, you can be in that stagnation in a marriage for years. And I'm saying like 5, 6, 10 years. And it can
Think about it.
become
So much
painful. Yes.
wasted time.
That.
So much
Wasted
wasted
time
time.
that could either be work, either could be, actively working to fix something. So without taking any more time, let me speak about the two forces that I was speaking about. Number one is what I call being in a duel, like like in the wild wild west, when you would put your back to your back, and it would be like, who's going to draw first, who's going to shoot first, and this is a force that prevents people, that is an impediment to saving a relationship, where each partner is saying, I'm not going to save. I'm not going to change. I'm not going to look for a therapist. No, you do it first. You do it first. I was aching it to that thing where, my husband and I do it too, that we have to get ready for a party. I'm like, I'm not getting up. He has to get up first. I'm not getting, before we know it, we're going to be late. I
I
do that
love
more than he does. But
it.
the point is that this prevents us, from doing anything, from going to get help. And even when you get help, even when I have clients in therapy, I will often, I caution them right before we even go for therapy that this is not going to work, because we have limited time in which to achieve. And so I give them the warning first that each of you have to take your own responsibility. Don't keep an eye on the other person
Yeah.
while you're making progress, because this is going to take forever. Because let's say, because we all are up and down with anything that we do,
Yes.
whether it's a love of our children or God or country,
Yes.
we go up and down. So
Yes.
when my partner is going down and I'm going up, I don't want to keep an eye on that, because then I'm going to be like, wait a second, I'm going to scale back here, kind of thing. You do it
Yeah.
for you, through you. You don't do it for the partner. Don't do
Yeah.
it for the relationship. You do it because in your heart, you want to show up in this beautiful and complete way in your relationship, that it aligns with your personal values. So that's one,
Yes. I
the
love that.
duo,
Love
waiting
it.
to see who shoots first. That's the
Yeah.
first
I think
one.
it's so important because, and I hear this, and I used to do this. We make assumptions, or like, I want them to do this. I want X, Y, and Z, or why isn't he texting me, or why isn't he saying I love you, or why
Right.
isn't he giving me birthday cards? Well, I'm not going to get him a card because he's going to give me a card. No, show up and treat him how you want to be treated, no matter what, without any expectation of the outcome. Just like you said, aligning with how you want to be represent and how you want to deliver and be engaged in a relationship. I think that's perfect.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I'm gonna, you just gave me an idea, and I'm gonna remember to talk about that as well in 1 second. So, and the second force that happens, this is the craziest one, Susan. I call it an interest sink. So, usually, I will have what starts to develop when a person is leaning out is what I would call a pursuer retreater dynamic. So, the person who's interested or who's leaning in says, and this is an anxiety dynamic. People think it's love, and I want to be very clear, it is not love. Not that you don't love your partner, but when you are involved in this dynamic, you are not loving your partner. You're doing it from your anxiety, where the person who's feeling like my partner is leaving me is going to pursue the partner out of anxiety.
Oh
So they're
yes.
pursuing. And so they're like, I'm getting real nervous, so I'm gonna pursue you. And the person who's being pursued is gonna get nervous. They're like, okay, well, I'm getting really nervous that you're pursuing me, and I'm getting very anxious, so I'm going to distance. And then this person says, oh my God, there's too much space between us. And now I'm getting more nervous, so I need to chase you more now. And
Oh
when
my
they
gosh,
close the
so
difference,
common.
they say, yeah, they say, oh my God, this is too close. I need to run away more. Notice the unilateral nature, and it can
Yeah.
become very crazy. And one
Yes.
might say, hey, the person who's running away needs to stop running away. It can't really, usually that doesn't happen, because if they stop, this person will engulf them.
Yeah.
And it's the hardest thing, and this is what I work with couples a lot on. how do you how do you stop chasing in a way that your partner can have a chance to come to you? Generally speaking, when the pursuer is going to stop pursuing, it's like this: don't let the door hit you and you're behind. F you, it's an F you, stop. And this stance is just as anxious and as harmful and as ego based as the one that was chasing. Neither one of these are love. That doesn't mean this person
Yeah.
doesn't love them. It means that in this moment, they're not acting from love. And so,
Mm,
how do you stay neutral
mm,
instead of chasing and running away? How do
yeah.
you stay neutral so when your partner does come, and this takes work?
Yeah.
This is an imperative thing. So the one that I was describing to you, that is a problem when I'm helping people come together in a relationship to save a relationship, is that when one person, so this person, when they turn around, because this is literally like emotional physics. So when the person who's pursuing does move away and take their attention away, the one who is running away will come around. Might take longer to come around because they're probably by nature, their defense mechanism is to run away, but they will come around. And if this person hasn't done their work, unfortunately, they're going to turn in a way that they will engulf, and this person will run away even further than before. So the interesting that I have, the biggest problem with, Susan, as I'm working so closely with couples, is that the only time the one who's leaning out wants to lean in is when this person's not leaning in anymore. And
Makes
when this
sense.
person leans in, then this doesn't. So, and what I want you to, and you might think that this is really cute and it's short, and it's not short. This can take 5,
Mhm.
6, 7 years of an insane game, which can be really taxing on everyone that loves
Yeah.
them, and of course themselves, their health, their education if they're studying, their work, everything
Hmm.
gets affected, because
Yeah.
it takes over. The
Yeah.
dynamic takes over. You're not individuals anymore. You become these demonic, sort of like, like the game takes over you
Yeah.
instead of taking over
It's
the game.
it's so much. I mean, I see it in so many couples. I mean, and it's just, aren't you exhausted? Aren't you exhausted from this game? Don't you want
Yeah.
to heal, right? Like,
Yeah. And I will tell you that the answer would be clearly, I'm exhausted, and people want to change, but they are imperative things that they need to work on for it to actually be a
mhm,
change that takes hold and stays hold, because they will change for a week.
mm.
They will be beautiful for a week in their behavior. um but in
And
order
then
to
we go
take hold,
back.
yes, and then we go back, because
Yeah.
the change has to come from inside out. And this is why, Susan, I practice the transformational coaching, where I only work in 6 months, because right when the going gets tough, you're going to want to get out.
Yes.
And so, um how are we doing, Susan, on time? Should I even go
Um,
into the three?
I do have to. I can edit this out. I do have to hop off in like 2 minutes. So,
Okay,
and
so
we can
let's just
always do
close.
another part too. We can always do more. So it's not
Let's
just,
just close
yeah.
right now.
Okay. So some solutions.
Yeah.
All right. So
Okay.
let me start.
Hmm.
Okay. So what are some solutions, some takeaways that our viewers can implement themselves or share with somebody they know that might need to implement it?
Yeah. So, and there are such clear and precise, and by the way, I want to give everybody like the concrete solutions, and they have to do with, healing your communication. That's very concrete too. Balancing the energy. This goes with what you were saying earlier. Energy of masculine and feminine energy, which has nothing to do with gender.
Mm,
And also clearing up myths and misbeliefs about love, like if you love me, you should know what I want.
yeah.
Like you are responsible for making me happy, so if I'm not happy, you're the one who there's a problem with you, and other such
Mm,
things. Like if you loved me, you would change, and because you're not changing, you don't love me.
yeah.
Those kinds of things. So and many other things like that. But there's I want anybody who's watching this to know that there are hundreds plus people who actively work on. Even infidelity does not mean the marriage breaks. Usually marriage doesn't break, crazy it is as it is, it
Wow.
doesn't
Yeah.
break after infidelity. In fact, when people get hardship like that in their life and they work through it, they end up, because they're bringing so much consciousness into their marriage, they end up being stronger couples than the ones that never had a problem at all in their marriage. So
Wow.
I want to give
Yeah.
hope. I can't go over all the solutions in the time we have,
Yeah.
but
Yes.
know that there are concrete solutions and know that there is hope.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I know we're going to have to do this again because I know
Sure.
that this is such an important topic. Um, because I think relationships are such a beautiful thing, and sadly, I feel like they've been becoming harder to more challenging for people to just stay. I mean, we have so many
Yeah.
distractions, so many variables, dynamics like to navigate. And like you said, and something that I teach as well, it's starting with you too.
Yes.
It's really grounding yourself in
Beautiful.
how you communicate, how you show up, how you take responsibility, and leading just like we want to do with our children, lead by example.
Mhm.
We got to do the same thing in relationships, right?
Beautiful. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Everybody who's watching this, we will obviously scroll below the video. It will have all of Sonia's contact information. And we thank you for watching. Share this with all that you know that will benefit from this topic on relationships. And yeah, and if there's comments or ways you want to submit some questions, don't be shy. Reach out to us. Information will be below this video.
Take care. Goodbye, everyone.